Hello, I'm your host, Leonard Duncan. Welcome to a new episode of ATV-TALK and Motorsports Podcast. Please join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring you interviews with industry professionals, live events, live news about the motorsports industry in every episode. Enjoy the show. Whether we are out riding with our friends and family or racing in extreme environments, we all need good tires. That's why I recommend GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp. Their products, which include XC Master, Mini Master, and Groundbuster 3, are what leading professionals in the ATV-UTV industry are using. You can get your tires at greenballtires.com or find them on Instagram as GBC Tires for further inquiries. Logan Stanfield, how are you? Welcome back to ATV Talk, sir.
Doing pretty good. Enjoying this weather that's a little better than Indiana, so not too bad.
You know, let's talk about Indiana just for a bit, if you don't mind.
Yep.
You spend a lot of, well, that's your home base. That's where you live, and your dad has a business there. What do you do when the weather's bad to train?
In Indiana, I mean, I'm not really home much in like the winter time. Like I got down here a little longer than a week. So I'll be down here until the second race, and then I'll probably go to Texas before the third race, and then hopefully the weather's starting to, it'll be springtime and the weather will start turning back around for us in Indiana, and I try to go home and just ride when I can, really.
So is all you get to do in Indiana is ride, or do you have a like a workout plan that you stick to and try to take care of some of your conditioning?
Yeah, I mean, I still have access to gym and my road bike, so I'm doing Hoag's training this year, so he'll have a plan for me to do, and we'll just kind of communicate on what I need to be doing if I'm not on my bike, or if I can ride, or just biking or in the gym. So it all works out at the end normally.
I don't want to bring up too much about Brandon, but have you spent time talking with him about his training program?
Yeah, he's here at Deckers, and I actually work out with him about every morning, and um, he's teaching me quite a bit what to eat, what not to eat, what helps you, what doesn't really matter if you do it or not, you know. So he's teaching me a lot, and working with him has been pretty good so far.
Yeah, I got to see you ride last year, and I kept track of some of your results. You were moving up in the standings. Did something change physically for you, or are you just getting more comfortable so that you can ride harder and harder?
I think a little bit of both. I was kind of at the beginning of the year. I had some bad races, and not even from my fitness, just mechanical problems or mud races, and um, I didn't get the good end of the stick with those, so I think it just kind of made had a little fire under me, I guess, and maybe I pushed a little harder then, and my results came out a little better because I didn't want to lose some spots, so I made sure I wasn't going to do that.
Well, yeah, you're finished eighth overall for the year, which in that stacked field, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of tough competition out there, so we got to keep pushing and keep trying new things.
Have you got to do any testing in the off season?
Not much. I've just been home. And when I'm home, I just go to work every day, and then we don't really mess with the race stuff until I get down here, or really when it's cold out, there's nothing you can do in Indiana. You
When
it
does the
gets really
weather start turning bad?
this year it was actually pretty late. Like I would say 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas, it was actually like it would get like 50, 60 degrees in the afternoons. And then Christmas was actually like freezing. It was like negative negative 38. So it was very cold.
Man, how does the weather change going from the super cold to where you are in Florida there where it's warm? How does that affect you at first?
I mean, I love it. I don't like hate the cold weather. I can deal with it. Like I've grown up there forever. So it's just kind of you grow into it, but I definitely enjoy waking up even if it's 50 degrees here. Everybody's, oh, it's so cold. Like, this is great.
This is summertime for me, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. Um, I really wanted to talk about some of your techniques and things when you're at Deckers. What do you spend time most on working on, or what are you working on right now to advance your skill set for 2023?
I would say I'm working on the amount I spend working out at a less intense pace, I guess. So I'm trying to learn a lot of volume. It's kind of boring. It is boring. It sucks, but hopefully that will bring me around. So that's what I've been working on.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what that is?
Yeah, so like instead of like just doing like a real like a you know sprints, I'm working on like a slower pace, um building like volume up so then you can use more intensity and maybe like build your intensity like time frame up, if that makes sense.
So you're building the foundations of your conditioning so that you'll be stronger at the end of the moto is what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So in my eyes, I'd like to be able to run a good pace the entire time and not get tired, and then start increasing your intensity and trying to um, just increase everything from there on.
yeah, that phone's twitching around everywhere today, isn't it?
Yeah, my service here is terrible.
Oh no, I mean it's you keep moving.
Oh, oh yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Um, do you did you have any conditioning problems in the end of the motos last year?
Yeah, I would say some races I felt more fatigued, trying to fit more in throughout the week before, and then still taking a couple of days off, obviously. But sometimes the heat would get me. Maybe I wouldn't eat the best. Like I kind of just eat whatever I feel like eating. I wouldn't say I eat terrible. Like I don't go eat pizza before, like on a race week or something like that. But um, I would have like I'm like big on like I always eat a lot of cereal and milk, so stuff like that you eat, and like you can tell it didn't really do much for you. You just still feel wore out, but your body knows you ate, so you're full. If that makes sense.
You solved the hunger problem, but you didn't solve the nutrition problem.
Correct.
I understand. I mean, from talking with Brandon and the things that he talks about and where he wants you is a completely different world to where most people are.
Yeah.
And understanding, I told him this too, but to be honest with you, talking with him, I understood about 25, maybe 35% of what he was talking about. And the rest of it was going, I was trying to understand it. And I think I have a vague idea of what he's talking about. But man, he is in a totally different world.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. So like the more time I've spent with him, the more he tells me the same thing. And the more you understand it though, that's the good part, that he doesn't just tell you and just like, well, that's what it is. He like once you're like with him a lot, he makes sure you know what you're doing, like why you're doing it, why it's benefiting you. and why you should be doing it this way.
I did ask him. I said, Brandon, if you give all your training tips out to everybody and everybody's level raises, he says, aren't you worried about that taking away from your results and your finishes? And he goes, no, I'm going to beat everybody anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that he works harder at his own thing than probably anybody will, just because he's like, that's his cup of tea. He loves that.
And to be a professional racer, do you see that changing the game changing? Excuse me, the game changing. So that means that you're going to be changing and evolving with it.
I'm hoping so. I've had trainers before, and I think they've all helped me improve. So I just hope to just keep going up.
What did any of the trainers have a plan, anything like this before for you?
Not necessarily this, where they've shown me like all my zones and stuff. Like I've done some different testings with Brandon, and he can kind of like he has like a meter, and he like tests your blood, and has this, I don't like you said, I don't really understand it, but he has this way of telling where you need to be training, at what heart rate, and how long you need to be doing it at this, or how many days a week, how many hours a week, and not that in depth. So that's kind of what I like. Like I know exactly what I need to be doing. I'm not ballparking it. So I feel like we're pretty spot on.
Do you have a journal?
I don't, but he keeps track of everything, and um and it's in like our messages and stuff, so I still have it, but I don't keep track of it. I do like vague, like I'll keep track of how many hours I ride and just my hours and workouts, but he keeps track of everything I do.
That's, I mean, having a guy that can take care of you and all the other people that he's taking care of and train himself. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about 2022. The mud race, when you guys were on the starting line and it started pouring. How did that race work out for you?
At Ironman,
Is that
it
is that
was,
where it was?
yeah, well, we had a couple mud races. We had Daytona, Georgia, Ironman, and that might have been it. But it was really like unexpected. I didn't really know what to think. Like I thought, oh, we're for sure gonna be racing. It's just gonna be in the rain, maybe a light rain, and we go down to the starting, or it downpours, and then it just stops. And then we go down to the starting gate, and it's like pretty dark, and we get lined up, and we're debating because it's like kind of greasy. The track looks kind of greasy, but and with however many riders were out there in the class, 2 laps in, small tires should probably be pretty good. It'll start getting tacky, and the bigs are kind of risky. So then it started downpouring, and we threw on our big tires because it was starting to puddle up pretty good. And it was raining like half of what it was, and then we get on the gate, and the car is like up, and it just starts like downpouring like I've never been in before. It was insane, and the gate drops. So I mean, nobody's gonna sit there. We all go, and I mean, people were dropping like flies, like left and right, and within like the first 2 laps. And I was running in second for I don't even know how long. I don't even know what was going on. I was just trying to make sure I got to the finish line, and I must have sucked some water in. And that was pretty much the end of it for me. And I think that was with like 3 laps to go.
Oh man, that was horrible. Everybody I've talked to just said they never should have raced the race.
No, they probably shouldn't have. We even asked the officials like why they had us go out there, and I don't think their mics were working correctly. So there was a miscommunication between the ref and maybe the tower or something. And um, what do you do? Like it'd be a really tough spot because we're already out there. I mean, we're all fully committed to go out there now once the gate dropped. Um, I think people's bikes were dying within like very quick. Within the first lap, somebody's bike was down. So what do? You wait, and this guy probably just blew up his motor, ruined his whole engine. And what do you say? Like we're gonna race in an hour. I mean,
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
and just say he doesn't have a spare motor just for some reason. Like if he had a fault in the first race or in the first part of the day. And yeah, I think it was a tough spot, especially if 3 or 4 people broke and you tell them they got an hour to get everything washed, get ready, and we're gonna go back out again in the same mess.
in the same mess. Why wash, right?
Yeah.
Clean the radiator, put your wet setup on there, a new air filter, and cross your fingers.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty. That's a pretty rough race. I mean, you
Yeah, it was. And
mentioned. Go ahead.
it wasn't really like a mud race. It was like there was like nobody was muddy. It was just like brown water. The track was so hard packed, it just puddled up everywhere. And you literally had to putt through everything or you were gonna suck in water.
And that worked for you until the third lap, until 3 laps to go.
Yep, and I had no water prep, no mud prep. I run the air box, and luckily it just stayed out for a while.
Oh man. And then you just couldn't get it respired afterwards.
No, I tried everything, and then my starter was acting up, and I ran over and grabbed a screwdriver from um, Tim, and I was trying to jump my bike from going to the positive to the negative on the relay behind the battery, and it wouldn't start. So
Yeah, that just makes things worse. You mentioned Daytona. How similar or how bad was it for you in Daytona?
um, it was it was. I mean, I'm not a fan of Daytona. I could care less to ever race there again. Um, we've done it since 2015, and I've won there a couple times, and I've got hurt there, and I don't know. It's just never been a fan. It's really tight racing, and like last year, it got so wet. It's like topsoil out there, kind of, so it ruts real easy. And there was one main line that everybody raced in, and once you got off the start and got in that line, if you get out of the line, you're getting passed. And I think there was maybe 2 3 passes made, and that was by like Chad. So it was tough.
Yeah, I can totally get it. Um, Overall, it seemed like there was just a couple of specific places that you really liked, Loretta Lynn's being one of them.
Loretta's, yeah, I didn't mind that track. I like that. I like Redbud, Sunset, Briarcliff. I like. Um, those are probably my top tracks that I like, and I like High Point too.
Anything on the schedule that you're looking forward to this year?
I would say not in particular. Gatorback maybe because I've never been there, never raced there, and I've never been to Birch Creek as well. So I think that'll be interesting.
Nice, nice. So 2 new facilities for you. Have you done any research on either one of them?
A little bit on Gatorback. I watched some old films. Looked like it turned like pretty hard packed, so it's hard to tell. Um, that was a long time ago. Dirt could be a lot different now.
Well, they've still been racing there. The ATVs just haven't been there, correct?
Yeah, they raced the Mini-Os there.
The mini O's.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
is that a qualifier for the motorcycles?
I think it's just like a special event a lot of bike guys go to. I'm not sure if it's like I'm not really sure actually,
Yeah, I would assume that.
but I know it's very popular.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they would be running that track year round.
Yeah, they probably do. They probably do.
When you're there at Deckers, do you run the off-road track or the woods style track at all?
Yeah, I mean, we switch it up. They're having a race here between the first and second round. And they're doing a 30-minute race, and you have to race the main track with the woods loop and the intermediate track all together.
What do you think of that?
I think it's gonna be tough. I've ran a couple laps doing it, and it's definitely gonna be a tough race.
Do you think at that point your body will be more conditioned to riding than it is right now?
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. I've been down here for like I said, like a little over a week, like a week and a half, and I already feel so much better because like when I'm home, I eat whatever I want. I go get Casey's pizza and stuff. Um, and I'm always busy, and I don't really have a whole bunch of time to work out, and especially with like the volume stuff I was talking about, it's just hard to get in the gym and sit in there for an hour, 2 hours, or whatever we're doing. And now that I'm down here, I can really focus on getting in there and doing like good quality stuff, and even on my bike, and I already feel like a new person. It's crazy.
Is it every year you take that much time off?
Between like the beginning of the year and the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I normally take a pretty good break in between, like just because we do stuff with our family. I hang out with my girlfriend and her parents, and we just have other stuff we like to do.
Does it make it hard to come there that first week? I mean, is it really hard on your body?
I wouldn't say it's really hard on my body. Like you don't just go in and start doing 20-minute motos first day back, like we kind of ease into it. I just kind of feel it out and ride and get used to everything. I don't think it's good to hop on there and say, oh, I got to start doing, I got to start getting fast today. You got to get back into it.
Right. Do you do any riding or training with on the track training, excuse me, with any of the other riders?
Yeah, we normally try to um, get together, like, because we normally all are in the gym at the same time, roughly. And, we're all like, what time are you riding? What time are you riding? So we all try to be on the track at the same time. And really depends what everybody's doing. If somebody's like testing stuff or doing their own thing, which is fine, and we'll say, hey, like we're gonna moto at 1 o'clock, and then we'll line up on the gate and send each other out, and we'll chase each other, play cat and mouse.
How different is it? Because not every group of racers get to train with the people they race with. So you guys are
um
friends and you train together and you race together.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think we all respect it. We're all here to get better and see what we can do. And really, I mean, to me, if say so and so beats me, it's a good job to them, and maybe I got to work harder tomorrow. And that's the thing. I started doing that in 2016 with Alan Myers, and even Zach was with us then, and we all rode together. And obviously Zach, he was on 250s, and me and Alan, I was in B class and he was in A, and then we eventually, me and Alan raced each other, and now me and Zach race each other. But I think it's definitely helped improve all of us together. Just showing like when you get by yourself, you get lazy and you get comfortable, and riding with these guys, like you might push yourself on the edge a little bit more.
So there is some competitiveness even in practice with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be the fastest guy on the track. So that's my goal. You always want to look the best out there, like have your bike handling the best. Because I mean, everybody watches each other. There's no doubt about it. Well, I mean, we all make it plain as day. If I'm timing somebody, I'm standing there on the corner, and they know I'm timing them. And really, all of us are fine with it. Like I said, I don't think there's any hard feelings if somebody else is having a good day.
I heard a quote from I forget who it was. I think it was Joe Rogan actually, that said, if you want to be elite, train with elite.
Yeah.
So if you want to be fast, it's just you got to train with the fast guys.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. Like you got to kind of see what they're doing, and even like we ride with Joel all the time, and um, he likes to. He doesn't care. He'll go out and moto whenever. Like he kind of, because his schedule's a little harder than everybody else. He's got his wife and 2 kids with him, so he's got to kind of accommodate to that as well as ride and get his stuff done and whatever else he's got going on. So um, if he's out there motoing and I'm not ready, I kind of, that's a guy to go watch, and see what the lines he's taking and stuff. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
How many different tracks are there for you guys to ride, moto tracks down there?
There's 2 moto tracks, and there's the woods loop. So there's the main track, and that's like the more technical track. That's probably the where you see all the videos at. And then the intermediate track is kind of like a low tame, not very technical, but it's kind of tight. I guess it is a little technical, um, more safe track, but it's kind of like a supercross style.
So more airtime, more technique, you think?
I would say more technique on the main track, a lot bigger stuff. I would say more airtime on that, but it's kind of like a short course, short straightaways, quick turns, stuff like that.
So is that something that you would train on a little bit more before Daytona?
Yeah. Yep.
And I know all of you guys are into pit bikes. Are you guys
Yeah.
still racing pit bikes and having all that stuff go on as well?
They don't have any like pit bike stuff going on, but I mean, we mess around on our 90s and Surons.
Is it? I mean, like I know that Janusa had that big race. I mean, do you guys do anything like that while you're down there at Deckers?
They did a big pit bike race and stuff for New Year's. They did, but not now. They don't.
You guys are just focused on getting ready for the up and coming season and keeping it real and not going to go do something stupid and get hurt on a pit bike.
Yeah, correct.
Even though most of you guys probably go out and hit the track on them occasionally anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely go out there. I mean, after my day and go mess around on my pit bike, look at the track, and scoof off.
Do the lines change from day to day?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a whole bunch. We normally don't groom the track throughout the week, so it normally gets pretty rough. But with the track, it gets so rough. Normally, yeah, new lines do come in after the end of the days.
Well, I come from an era in motocross where they didn't groom the track. They
Yeah,
watered it and ran it, watered it and ran it, and it was what it was.
yeah,
So,
that's how it is here.
do you think that's better for you, or do you think the grooming
Oh,
is what you should do?
no, I think we should be riding it rough. That's what the races are.
Right, but they start out on the first lap fairly smooth, don't they?
Um, Not necessarily. Not for us. They'll groom like the whole shot turn. Um, and maybe if like there's like one line in a turn where they normally groom that, so we can make two lines where we can race a little bit better. But other than that, they normally leave it pretty rough.
I remember back when I was going back east and all the time, and they would till the track, and I hated that. I wish they would have just
Yeah,
left him alone.
yeah, I'd rather ride in a broken in track than a tilled track.
Well, yeah, most of the time they would till it in on bad weather.
Yeah, and they'd be sloppy.
Oh yeah, and you're just like, really? I'm not a dirt guy, but that's doesn't seem like what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just you guys, it just sounds like that place down there is just nothing but a playground.
yep, for ATVs, yeah.
I mean, gosh, you guys are you got the best of the best all down there riding and having a fun, minus a few of the players um, that think that training off on their own is better. But it's pretty cool that you guys are friends and get to ride together like that. And did you make any sponsor changes from 22 to 23?
No, not really. I picked up a few different people, some new ones, and like Brandon, Prime Food Distribution. Um, Tim got me hooked up with those guys, and they supply meat with us for the weekends and stuff like that. So really, everything else is the same.
That's good. That makes it more comfortable for you. So you already know what your package is going in to this season, correct?
Yep, yep. I've made some like minor changes, just trying out some new stuff right now. But other than that, everything else is pretty much the same.
How are you feeling about the package so far?
I love it. I feel like even like last year, everything was new to me. I had new handlebars, new seat, new motor, new exhaust, um, a little different suspension setup. So everything was new going into the first round, kind of. And this year, I got a whole year on it, so I know a better base about it, and I think that's good.
How much does it affect you when you change things like handlebars, things like that?
I mean, everybody's got their own preference, but for me, it takes a little bit of comfort. You kind of have like a different leverage point and whatnot. Maybe the bike might seem like it turns different or something, but to me, I think I found a pretty good package for myself.
What kind of bars do you run?
I run the Renthal bars.
Is there a specific bend, or do we not want to give that out?
No, I mean, I don't care what people run. I think it's the McGrath mid or something like that. Honestly, I don't know without looking.
So it's a moto bar
Yeah.
designed for moto.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. and that just it was something that you picked out multiple different ones and rode them all, and that's the one you like the best?
Yeah, I actually found it. I forget whose bike they were on, and I just really felt comfortable on it just sitting there. And the Renthal bars, I used to run Pro Taper, and the Renthal bars have a little more room for your controls and stuff, so that makes it nice. Like the bend is closer to the middle of the bar, so you have more flat space on the bar to put like your levers, your brake guard. We got to have a kill switch, a start button, so it makes it a lot easier. It makes it look better and it feels a lot better.
Exactly. I don't remember in our last conversations if you did anything other than just ride motocross.
I mean, I golf some. Um, I play some soccer, basketball. Really, I if my friends are playing some sport and they ask me to come, I normally go play football, whatever.
So you're an all-around athlete then.
Yeah.
Have you done any cross-country racing on your ATV?
I did the Ironman a few years ago and I didn't care for it.
I like that answer. I, that was the driest. No, we're not going to do that again.
Yeah. I did it on like a bone stock bike with big tires. So maybe if I had like a bike built for it, maybe I'd enjoy it a little bit better, but my seat was cut. I had no horsepower, no exhaust. Shocks sucked. My brakes kept fading real bad, and it was just not fun.
You just call Walker up and say, Walker, I want to, ride one of your bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that'll work out, but you could always
Probably not.
try, right?
Yeah, I could always maybe say, hey, you can come ride one of my bikes to race.
Yeah, he's all game for it. He came out west and showed him the way. So
Yep.
I mean, he did a little testing, a little more testing than most people realize to dial in his suspension, but he still
Yeah.
rides really well.
Yeah, he does.
What do we got to look forward to this year watching Logan Stanfield out on the track?
Hopefully, I really like to pull a whole shot. I know my motor builder is dying for me to get a whole shot. He knows his motor can do it, and I know it can. I'd like to get some whole shots and maybe some top fives. It'll be easier to run up there if you start up in the front. It's easier to stay up there than fight your way up there in that crowd.
That's true. They say that most of or a lot of that portion, even the start, has a mental aspect to it. What are you doing to change your mental game?
Hopefully, just practice some more starts and try to get something really dialed in where I know I got it, and work on my gate drops, my reaction time, and maybe how I come out of the hole and the whole 9 yards.
How much time do you spend behind a gate practicing so to help that?
Personally, I haven't spent a lot of time. I'm gonna try to maybe change where I do a couple starts before every moto that I practice. Um, just like we get to like in the qualifier, we have like a start practice to get used to the gate, and then we go out and qualify. So maybe try something like that.
Well, I mean that would definitely help because if you're not training it, it's not coming, you know.
Yeah.
And every track has a different. They're all gates, but I mean they're all work just a little bit
All
different,
different.
correct?
Yeah. Yep. All the soil is different. Maybe you come out a little higher, or even like Pleasure Valley, you come off of concrete, so that's a little different. So
What kind of compound do you like the best? You like that concrete or the hard packed or the loam?
I kind of like the hard packed dirt, like the clay kind of dirt or brown dirt. That's probably my favorite.
And a lot
Just
your
because,
machine works really well in that.
yeah, and I feel like you just come out so much faster than like in sand or loomy dirt.
What do you think of the concrete starts?
They're they're a little tricky to get down. Um, I know like last year some guys were doing third gear starts off of them, and I would get it. I was doing it in my practices, and I got it like one really good one, and then I had one really bad one. So I just said we're not gonna do it. It's not worth. It was one of the things where you're either gonna be first or last, and I didn't want to risk it at that track.
I mean, you have to be comfortable with it, or why do it? Correct.
Yep. So we went with the second gear start, and um, it's still hard to get it down because you're so anxious, and it's a lot different than coming out of just dirt because your tires are spinning so fast, and when you hit that dirt, your front tires just want to pick straight up.
And you have to be ready for that. And
Yep,
do,
you
do
kind
they
of have
give
to
you
counter it.
do they give you many shots to work off the concrete to get more comfortable with it?
Yeah, I mean, so you get like your first qualifier, you get to go off one time, and then going into the second qualifier, you have 5 minutes, as many starts as really you want to do in 5 minutes. So we probably get 5-6 starts off, and then you reset, and then for our qualifier you get a start, and then before each moto you get to do a start off of it.
Well, that's yeah. I mean, that's better than leaving you up there cold. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. Like the amateurs, I think it would definitely be tough if you've never done it and you got to just go straight into it.
Yeah, because they don't get any. They don't give any of that. They just line up, race.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm. You're probably glad you're a pro at that point.
Yeah, you would have to kind of maybe practice at home or something.
Nah, dang. Yeah. If there's no concrete at home, you're SOL, right?
Yep.
I want to ask you a couple more things, and I know it's getting late there for you, and I'll let you go because you got to get up early and train tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, when you're a professional racer, so the question's probably not going to sound all that. I don't know. My deal is some guys like to turn and really like keeping the wheels on the ground, and other guys like to jump. Or you could be like me and just afraid to jump. I just never have been very good at it. How do you get yourself ready for some of those astronomical jumps you guys take? And then you look at some of the corners that you guys have to take, and you just have to rail them at such high speeds.
You just got to go in there with the mindset that we're all racing the same machine. And that's how I look at it. I feel like I've always had a very top-notch machine, and to me, the guy next to me's machine is not any better. So if he can hit this jump or hit that turn, I feel like I can. You just gotta commit to it.
Do you ever think about the commitment?
Yeah, there's definitely some jumps I'm like, I really don't want to jump that. And you just kind of gotta pick if you want to run up there. You got to hit the jump or hit the turn like they're hitting it. So you just kind of got to pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You have to decide. Do I want to run on the front group or the back group?
Yeah.
And have you come to a track yet where you found a jump that was just too big?
Um, no, I don't think there's any track that we've been to that if there's not been like one person jumping it. We either pretty much most of us all jump it or we don't jump it at all. Like I would say one of the worst ones were probably, heck, I don't even know. Like this year, Three Palms, the pro section double coming back, it always gets super rutted out. And it was one of those things where like you hated to jump it, but if you didn't jump it, you lost so much time, or the guy behind you is definitely going to jump it over you. And it was, I mean, there was train tracks, and you would just bounce back and forth all the way up this thing, and I hated it. I hated every lap. And then the last lap, I didn't hit it because I hated it so much. Because the guy ahead of me was, I wasn't going to catch it. Behind me wasn't going to catch me, so I didn't jump it.
I mean, you're the one that has to feel comfortable with it, right?
Yep.
I've talked to a few of the other guys, and they all have different variances in how they set up their tires. Like some of them use tire balls, some of them use other inserts. Do you use inserts in your tires at all?
No, I don't.
All air.
Yep.
Have you ever tried the inserts?
I actually have not. I don't know why I haven't. I just never, thankfully, knock on wood, I've never had a tire issue.
So there is superstition in racers, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you put your right boot on first or your left boot on first?
I don't even know.
I asked that because when I was racing, I always put the one boot on first and then put the other boot on. Just
Yeah.
don't know why, I just did, you know.
Hey, it's whatever makes you comfy.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I obviously never got to ride at your level. So, I mean, it was just, I was just out having a good time. Well, I took it real serious. So sometimes it wasn't as fun as it should have been. If I got to go back, I would sure make it more fun because I was only racing for a trophy. It wasn't life changing.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I get that way where I get tired of doing this and I got to figure out what I need to do to kind of bring it back to life in me some days. Normally, that's more towards the end of the year, when you're kind of burnt out and people are like, oh, like that's got to be great to do that every day. And, it gets kind of stressful when you got to put your body through that constantly. And, when you're in July, August, it gets super hot out and you're always outside, burning calories and a lot of calories. And it wears you out, puts a toll on you for sure.
It's still better than being cold.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you could be at home pulling weeds or, carrying rocks or who knows, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does beat being in the cold.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Well, hey, Logan, thank you so much for spending some time. I know that you're under, you're getting your training set up and you're getting rolling for the 2023 season. I hope that we can reach out maybe mid-season or a little farther down, get an update from you, find out how everything's going, and we'll be watching. And we hope you have a great year.
All right, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and I look forward to being back on here again.
The team here at ATV-TALK would love your feedback. Please email us at hello@atvtalkpodcast.com. If you're in need of a consultation for your current racing program, a custom ATV, or an industry guest speaker, I have the company for you. Duncan Technologies International Inc. offers host, MC, and guest speaking services at events. Builds custom ATVs for recreational riding or racing around the world. And they offer consulting services for professional teams or individual racers. Send inquiries to duncantechinternational@gmail.com or call 619-716-1532 for more information. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to share us with your family and friends. The podcast is available on all streaming platforms, and you can find us on social media as ATV-TALK Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter.